Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy and honored to be here. Today we have the Mediterranean meal, classic meal of baked falafel and creamy hummus and tahini sauce and a crunchy cabbage salad. So I'm going to start with the hummus first. So these are chickpeas and they're dry. I've soaked them. You drain them, and then you cook them with kombu. Now, I like to use kombu sea vegetable with my beans. And the reason why is because I love the flavor. It just is more, it makes the beans more digestible and more minerals. This is kombu. It's a Japanese sea vegetable. So you just take a piece of kombu and just put it on the bottom of the pot, okay? And then when it comes to a boil, then you remove the foam. I use a half a cup of lemon juice, okay? So first what I'm gonna do is, it's about 2 lemons. So this is fresh organic lemon juice, and I'm just gonna place it right into the container. And then I'm gonna use garlic. I use 5 cloves of garlic for this recipe. So then I'm just, 5 cloves of garlic is about 1.5 tablespoons of pureed garlic. A little salt and a little cayenne pepper. Now you don't have to put cayenne pepper, but I like to put just like 1/8 of a teaspoon in, or 1/4 depending, because it just gives it that nice kick. Now we're gonna blend this just to mix up the garlic, lemon juice. So I'm just gonna turn that down. And then I'm going to add the garbanzo beans. Okay. So, and I like to put the juice in there as well because it makes it nice and creamy. Okay, so that's good. There's a little bit more. I'm going to save some of it for the topping. So I'm going to just put a little bit more. And this, I used 1 cup of garbanzo beans, and it made like 3 cups or more dry. Sesame tahini, and it's 1 cup of tahini. And then I'm just gonna do the final blend, and that's great. Put it on, and then blend it. Creamy hummus. So then we can put it in a dish. Okay. 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 Here we go. So you can also garnish it with a little drizzle, a little olive oil on top, and it's for just like this. Okay, and then you can put some parsley on top. Okay, we're gonna put a little nice sprig of parsley and move this out of the way. And there we go. Fresh and delicious and organic. We're gonna do the tahini sauce for the falafels. And by the way, here's a sneak preview of the falafels. Okay, so I'm gonna take a bowl, and we'll take a bowl like this, and then we're going to add our tahini. I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of tahini. It just depends on how much you want to make. So this is tahini. So we're going to put it in the bowl first, and then I'm going to add some salt, about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay, and then lemon. So this is, oops, this is the lemon for the tahini sauce, and that's 1/3 of a cup of lemon juice. So I'm going to put that in there. Now I'm going to slowly whisk it, but I want to add also a little bit of water too. Okay, so here I go. I'm going to mix it. Oh, and I want to add some garlic too, of course, but not too much. I don't want a garlic sauce. I just want a tahini sauce. Just a touch of garlic and lemon. So I'm going to mix this up. I'm going to mix this in. We're just going to, by hand, you can also do this in a little magic bullet or blender, but I like to do it by hand. And then I'm going to add in the garlic. Just a little bit. There we go. That's about a teaspoon. Blend this up. Just go a little faster. And again, if you do this in the blender, it goes really fast and it gets really creamy. And it's like, see how it gets sliced nice and light. And there you have it. All right, so now I'm going to start with the falafels. I use a food processor for this. It really makes it a lot easier. So what I've done is I've soaked 1 cup of garbanzo beans again, and then I rinsed them and drained them. And then I place it right into the food processor. And then I'm going to pulse it 7 times. So here we go. And now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients, which are onion, cilantro, parsley, and garlic. Okay, and I have a secret ingredient, which I'll show you in a minute. So what I'm going to do is chop up the parsley. And what I've done is washed it and kind of made it in a little bouquet and lined it up so it's a lot easier to cut. Okay, so then I take my knife and just chop it up. Take out the stems. It's going to chop it up as well, but I just want to get it going here. Okay, so I'm going to just put it in here. This is fresh organic cilantro that I've pre-washed. Chop it up. Okay, put it in there. Then I have an onion. Didn't pre-cut the onion because I want to show you how I cut it up. Okay, this is very important to cut it the right way, or it's a balanced way. So I'd like to take just a tiny bit off the end. Wait, let me cut this. Wipe the board. Okay, so a little bit off the ends. And then there's a core here. I don't like to cut that out. I like to cut it directly in half and peel it. Okay. There's the trash there. Then I'm going to go ahead and peel the outside, just a little layer. We don't want to eat the brown layer of the onion. Okay. And then I'm just going to give it a quick rinse. Okay, so now the way I like to cut my onions is in an orderly fashion, and I like to cut them on these lines. I call them meridians, but I just go towards that center, and so each piece will have a piece of the heart of the onion, which is very nutritious and condensed energy. So then we're going to cut the onion here like this, and then turn it, and then go forward and do it this way. Great. So I'm going to do this onion as well. It helps to have a sharp knife too, cutting onions. So that's it. So now I'm going to, with my hands, just bring them over to the Cuisinart. So, food processor. Great. Okay, all the last bit. And then we have some spices to put in here. So, and we have garlic. So here is, we have a little garlic. Let's see. And then we have, I'm going to put about a tablespoon of garlic, or 5 or 6 cloves. Okay. So now for the spices, I like to use cumin. Cumin is very delicious. It has a nice earthy flavor. And so I'm going to add some cumin to that. That's 1 teaspoon. Then a little tiny bit of cayenne pepper. And you don't have to put that in, but it just gives it a nice kick. And I'm going to add about 1/8 of a teaspoon to 1/4, so just a touch. Okay, and then a little salt, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Okay, and that's that. So that's the first step. So then what we're going to do, we're going to pulse it up. We don't want to puree it, so we have to be careful just to pulse it. So we have everything in here so far. See how it's getting blended? Almost done. And scrape down the sides. Okay, Betty. So the reason why I like to add millet is because I like to have whole grains with my meals. So if I have a falafel salad, I can have lots of greens and vegetables, and then I'll have my falafel balls, which are falafel patties, and so it'll be a complete protein, or complete meal for me, the millet and the garbanzo beans, plus all these vegetables. This is millet. Now I cook 1 cup of millet and 3 cups of water. One thing I did differently, I soaked the millet overnight, and that made the millet a lot softer. And add the millet. You don't want to cook the millet like way ahead of time, because then it's going to get hard. Like polenta gets really hard. Same thing with millet. So you just kind of cook it when it's ready. It's that pulsing action that really makes it good. Again, we don't want to puree because it looks green and really pretty. So then we're just going to take it and put it into our bowl. Greens have a lot of antioxidants, a lot of chlorophyll. So I put a lot of parsley and cilantro in here. So here it is, nice and blended. But what I like to do is set it in the refrigerator for at least an hour. And what that does, it makes it easier to work with. So I have a baking pan, and then what I'm going to do, I like to put a little olive oil on the bottom of the pan. And then olive oil is a good oil to use for cooking, as long as you don't heat it too high. It's also good raw. So here I have a little brush. I just put that on there. And now we're going to make the falafel patties. So I like to make little smaller patties, falafel balls or patties, instead of large ones, because they cook faster. So I use a little scoop. Okay. So I just take a scoop like this and then just put it right onto the pan. Okay, I'm going to show you how I do it. Again, it's really easy. You just go like this. And it's really fast. I mean, you could really make a pan of falafels in no time. So I'm going to take a little oil and just brush the tops of the falafels with the oil. And then we're going to bake it. Bake it at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. And then flip it over, and then it'll be done. And here's what they look like, as I showed you before. So they're nice, nice and crispy, brown on both sides, and they're delicious. And then you can have them with the tahini sauce. And now we're going to make the crunchy cabbage salad. You can put any ingredients you want in this cabbage salad. I mean, it's delicious, but in Mediterranean cooking, it's nice to have a nice, refreshing salad. We have green cabbage, and I have some cucumbers, and then I have red radish, Or you can use daikon radish too, that wouldn't hurt. And then I have some red cabbage. And then I've also made some beet pickles, or as a topping. And the way that I made this is I cut up the beets and I cooked them in a little water. And then I just added a little bit of umeboshi vinegar, okay? You can also add some lemon to that as well. And this you can put on the top as a garnish. If you mixed it in, then the whole salad would turn red. And then another ingredient I have is arugula. And I like arugula because it's greens and it just freshens it up. I was going to pre-chop some of these, but I wanted to show you how I cut this up. Every vegetable has a heart, okay? Like artichoke hearts. We never throw away the artichoke's heart. That's the best part, right? So I like to keep the heart in as well. And I like to cut that in half. And then I go along the side. And again, I'm pretending there's meridians here. I'm just going down this way, making forward chops and making them thinner. Okay, and then turn it this way and make a few more chops this way. So this is our cabbage. We're going to take our bowl and put it in. Okay, and you can, of course, the amounts vary, depending on how many people are going to be eating it. Okay, and then we have our red cabbage. Red cabbage has a lot of antioxidants, polyphenols. Any vegetables that have bright colors have a lot of more antioxidants. So I'm going to cut it again down the center. Look how pretty that is. Vegetables are just a work of art. So again, cut that in half. Okay. And then again, go along the side. Just finely chop it. Okay, that's it for that. And then here we go. And we're going to put it in our bowl. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to add cucumbers. This happens to be like an English cucumber. So I'm going to cut this. Oops, board. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to cut it in half like this, and I'm just going to do little slices. Okay, that's good. And there's that. Okay, now for the red radish. Okay, so this has to be cut down, and again has the center, so we're going to cut it right down the center. Okay, can you see that? We're going to make sure everyone sees. Again, cut along the meridians this way, and then I'm going to do a cross cut. So a few radishes will just brighten that salad up. Okay, great. All right, next, one more radish and that's good. Okay, great. So now what else we're gonna make the salad dressing. Oh, there's the arugula. Okay, I'm gonna take some arugula and look how pretty that looks. Okay, so we can just toss them together. Look at those colors, how beautiful that looks. Okay. All right. So now we're going to make the salad dressing. Here's a lemon, organic, and I always wash them first. Always wash your vegetables first. Then you're going to cut it in half, and then you take your little squeezer, or you can do it by hand. Just put some pressure and twist it. Squeeze those lemons. Okay. And then then we're going to add a little pinch of salt, which could be like 1/8 of a teaspoon. Okay. And then we have thyme. This is dried thyme. I love dried thyme. It's great. Like 3/4 of a teaspoon there, depends on how much you want. And then we'll drizzle in a little bit of olive oil. For this amount, I'm going to use like 1/4 of a cup, so that's 4 tablespoons. 1, 2. You should have had 1/4 of a cup. That's okay. All right. So I want to show you how to do the garlic. So you take a clove of garlic, give it a whack like this, and then it's easier to peel. So I like this little instrument here. It really grates it nicely. So you just take it and you rub the garlic on the microplane, and it just purees it beautifully. The whole thing is just mashed up really well. Then I just take it and put it in. Okay. Give it a good mix. When I'm cooking, I always send some good energy into the food too. I love. That helps. Okay. All right, so it's all blended up. And then we're going to take our salad and put it on. Okay. And then toss it together. Okay, so crunchy cucumber cabbage salad with radishes and arugula and the beets. So we can take some of the beets and we can put on the top and garnish that. Whoops. Okay. Great. All right, so there we go. So what I like to do is make a little falafel sandwich. And we're going to have a pita. We're going to make a little falafel. I'll show you how I do it. Take bread. And I like to heat it up first, but we're not going to do it this time. So you take your plate, you take the falafel. Now, this is the fun part, building it. So what I like to do first is take, where's the tongs? Here we go. A little bit of the salad. Again, we're going to just put the salad right in the pocket. Okay. All right. Beets and all. All right. So we have a little bit of the salad first. And then we're going to take the falafel patties, falafel balls. You see that? Here's creamy, nice, thick tahini sauce. And then we're going to finish it off with some more of the salad. And voila, we have a beautiful falafel sandwich that's good for your tummy and good for your soul and very nutritious and delicious. Another thing you can do with the falafels is make a collard greens wrap. So if you are gluten-free and you don't have gluten-free pita, then you can take your collard greens and parboil them or just quickly steam them. And then you can just wrap them up, put the falafels and the lettuce in there, fold in the sides, and then roll it up, and you can have a falafel sandwich with collard greens. We made the falafels. We have the beautiful hummus. You can also sprinkle a little paprika or pepper on here, and then the tahini sauce and the hummus, and that's that. So I'm so happy to have shared this good food with you. So,
well, beautiful cooking class.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
It was
so
great.
much. Well done.
I wish you could have a bite of my falafel. This is so good.
Me too. Me too.
Come on, everybody. I made enough for everybody. Come on over.